How's it going? My name is Mike T. I also go by the name Force Fitness Inc. If you follow me on social media, I'm a personal trainer. Work with LA's talent, some actors and some athletes and things of that nature. I'm making this Can I Be Vulnerable video because I think that more often than not, men, aren't found able to be vulnerable, and it's a very uncomfortable space sometimes for some men. But also to just share and to open my horizons a little bit. I think that for myself, being vulnerable has been, how, my upbringing has been with my parents separating, divorced, and seeing how my father interacted with my mother. I didn't have a great example of, what a family should be and look like, and how a healthy marriage or relationship should exist.
So when your parents divorced, what was that feeling like for you? How was that reaction for you?
Honestly, I've always been so closed off to emotions at times that I understood, that they weren't getting along because I was living in it. And
right.
We could see, kids are very smart and intelligent.
And they absorb everything.
Everything. They're they process things.
Right.
So for me, being closed off to the emotion of it, I just kind of understood it. I didn't understand the whys and all the deep things as an adult that you can go back and reflect on, but I understood something wasn't going right in the relationship, and my mother decided to part. And I knew what. I mean, obviously I've heard the arguments,
yeah,
fussing, fighting, but that is one of the things that I'll speak on. I think that has probably had an impact on my life for sure.
And how was that developed throughout your friendships and relationships?
I definitely suffered a lot, and I know for a fact my friendships and relationships with women, because I didn't have a positive role model. Well, I don't want to say my father was a positive role model. He didn't have the skills.
Like relationship-wise, like to cultivate a positive relationship,
right.
Like a good example of that.
I didn't have a solid example in the household of how to entertain a woman. Some men who are raised, how to respect a woman, appreciate a woman, to temper a woman, and just to be a man. And I've had to learn that later in life, and try to still, to this day, work on, what the version of what a man looks like to me.
Right.
It hasn't been something that was inscribed in my heart from just seeing it. A lot of times, your impression makes you who you are. I believe that everything you experience to you, as an adult life, is going to shape you.
Right.
So for me, it's been a learning experience in that regard, to try to reshape my thought processes, to have healthy relationships.
How has that been? How's that?
It's been tough. It's been very tough, to be honest with you. I don't typically enter into a situation with complete blind trust, because I'm so used to, and this is later in life, being exposed to women who might not value you as much at the moment, but recognize their value at the moment.
Right.
And maybe misguided or misled, and then also just knowing through interactions what the outcome can be, and seeing other people's situations. But for me, I think that I've guarded my trust the most with people, which, if you know anything about not trusting somebody, it causes you to not really fulfill the greater experience of a relationship. You're giving part of yourself, but you're also slight-eyed and always thinking, what's really going on? And sometimes you're in your own head. And I think that's been tough for me. But again, at the hands of experiencing failures in that regard, and having people that weren't completely honest with me, that weren't, always what you think they are. And I think that the more that I've experienced that, coupled with my youth and upbringing, and seeing a dysfunctional home between a man and woman's interaction, it's left me in that regard, just kind of, looking and constantly, working on myself to be better. And my mother was a godly woman, Christian to this day. So we were in church. You know what I'm saying? We're in the services in the daytime.
So talking about. So you're getting military structure, and then you're getting the spiritual structure.
Spiritual instruction in the church. I'm talking about Bible study. I'm talking about the morning service, the evening service.
You know all that.
Man, I know the Bible back and forth, but I don't know quote for quote. I know the message.
Yeah.
And all the songs to go with it.
Right.
So it was an experience, man. But what that did was it balanced me out to the fact that the structure was there, and also the understanding of God and faith, and just having something greater than yourself to guide your life, and trusting in that and having that faith. And I think that's what's kept me and allowed me to have certain relationships I have today, and blessings. It kept me from falling off the cliff.
Right.
Some things that people go through and deal with, they don't come back from.
They don't.
And I believe that God's really sustained me and kept me. And even today, if you know me personally, if anyone knows me personally, they would probably look at my life and say, you're blessed, God has blessed you. And I believe that wholeheartedly. All the things that I do, the relationships that I have, the people that that really rock with Mike T.
Right.
It's not just because, you know, I'm this great trainer, I'm this great, you know, I like to believe that I am one of the best trainers, I'm a good trainer, but
Yeah.
not in the regards of that's why.
Yeah.
I believe that because of the blessings, because of the opportunities and the doors open and the people that God has allowed to come into my life to be there.
Right.
Because of him, that's why. Because there's a million trainers, if you know anything about
Yeah.
Los Angeles, this is the mecca for personal training.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of trainers, celebrity trainers, and deal with this and that and other. But they don't have the client roster I have. They don't have the people in and out the doors. They haven't touched the people that I've touched.
Yeah.
And have the friendships with people that will go to bat. Like I can literally call someone and they'll do something and be there for me just on the strength of our relationship.
Yeah,
What,
sure.
you know, they believe that I mean to them. That means a lot to me. Some of the things that do motivate me is being a better version of myself than I've been in the past.
Right.
I thrive on proving someone wrong about me. If I've gotten a bad rap for in a relationship being one way, or, you know, let's say an example I've dealt with recently where I was lied to about a situation in a
Right.
relationship.
Right.
And the person, the only rules we had was, let's keep it 100 with each other.
Right.
If you want to do this, X, Y, Z, just tell me.
Right.
So I can have the power to be able to say, I want to deal with this or not.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
And we
Pretty
had
simple.
that agreement, and it was breached when I found out I was being lied to about a situation. But at the same time, you know, in reflection, I realized that you have to give a person the opportunity to learn what life is without you.
That's good.
Or you have to give them opportunity to experience whatever they need to complete themselves,
Right.
or to grow to where they're going to grow to.
Yeah.
And you can't control that, regulate that. And even if you've gotten to a place where you start to, you know, what I would call control, try to protect yourself. By
Right.
trying to say, hey, what are you doing this? And you double check behind somebody. You don't believe everything at face value anymore because you've been lied to.
Right.
That's not the right approach. You have to take the L, number one, recognize that you weren't being, you know, told the complete truth. But the way you move forward isn't to clamp down now with distrust,
Right.
because now you're repeating the cycle. What you do is you go to the person, you discuss, you know, obviously what you were lied to about or what the inconsistency was, and then from that point on, you decide, you know, to either move forward, give them a clean slate, and then also really with your best effort, trusting again or removing yourself from the situation. That's the only two options.
Right. Yeah.
I think that a lot of times I've stuck around and tried to regulate and try to control situations to not hurt myself again.
Yeah.
Because of things that I've been through in the past. And now as an adult, not even just an adult, this is refining myself.
Right.
I realized that you have to let people experience life sometimes without you, and also you have to let them experience life in general to know what's what. They can't recognize, if you've never seen a raw cut diamond,
Right.
you don't know what it is.
Right.
You might throw it in the trash.
Right.
But if you've been there and recognized that, you can see it a mile away and you understand the value in something. And
Yeah.
people sometimes can't recognize the value in something until they've had it before or,
Right.
or lost it before.
Right.
To appreciate it. I think that that's where I'm at, is just being more of a solid person throughout to myself and letting that expression, you know, come out without having to say a word.
Yeah.
And then allowing people to experience their lives as they need experience, and trusting that God's got me,
Yeah.
them, if we're supposed to conjoin and things are supposed to meet back up, it's the right situation. So that's where I am as an adult in older life, you know, relationships and things of that nature. You know, I think we all can grow from sharing information and talking and communicating. I think that's a great idea to, you know, receive counseling or have some type of counselor, even if it's a friend, it's somebody you can talk to and be imparted into, because we have to have different information going in than just your own mind. And I think that that's a key element to growth, to learning and living a healthy and successful life, you know, where you have peace at all times, no matter what situation you're in.